Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. And in this video I will be doing a reading about what do people like about you. So let's see what they like about you. We have 3 piles over here. Pile number 1, number 2, and number 3. Pick one and let's begin. Hello pile number 1. We have 4 cards over here. 8 of Wands, 3 of Swords, the Tower, and 6 of Pentacles. Now let's see, what do people like about you. So 8 of Wands. What does this card tell me? It tells me that you are an easygoing person. It tells me that you try to find positive things in everything. Now, like if you take a look at the image over here, you can see things flying. There's the twister behind her, and that's you. You won't let a good crisis go to waste. You will turn any bad situation to your advantage. And you see that tornado over there? You will ride that wind. Now, if we go to 3 of Swords over here, 3 of Swords, if it's just alone, the card, if it's just alone without any other cards being present in the reading, it kind of is a card of pain. Not always, but in this case, what this card tells us is that you will not hide pain if you have any. You will communicate with people and you will let them know if they're hurting you in one way or another. Now, another thing that I can see from this card is that you know what pain is. You understand other people more because of it. Because some people, they've never had pain in their life and they can't understand people. But you do. You are an empathetic person. And that's why people like it. They like this trait about you. Now, moving on to the Tower, which is a card from Major Arcana, and it triumphs over other cards. Let's say it's the main card in the reading over here. The Tower here tells us that they love how wild you can be. Now, if you take a look at this card closer, you can see that everything is, the images, like the tower, it is destroyed. You see the smoke coming out of it. And just as I said earlier, you will turn the bad situation to your advantage. And if you take a look at her face, she's happy. She's got that smirk on her face. Perhaps she was the one who destroyed the tower. And it tells us that if things go south, well, you don't give a damn. You just don't care. You take change easy. And people love how wild you can be. Now, the last card in this reading is 6 of Pentacles, and it comes from a deck of Tarot of Sexual Magic. The reason why I included this card from a different deck was to show you what kind of, well, like a sexual trait that they like about you. And, well, let's take a look at the image together. And should I say more? Basically, they love you for who you are. That's why they like you for who you are. They love you. Just as I said earlier, you will take, any bad situation, you will turn it into a good one to your advantage. Like, we don't know what happened between these two. Are they fighting? Well, looks like you don't give a damn. You're just enjoying those apples. You aren't fighting. You don't give a damn. And maybe they just find this trait is, it is a sexy one, I might say. So they like it about you. Now, I hope you like this short reading. And I hope you come back for more. Have a good one. Hello, choice number 2, or pile number 2. we have 4 cards over here. 5 of Cups, Page of Wands, 9 of Cups, and we have 5 of Swords over here. Now, let's see, what do people like about you? 5 of Cups over here, what does it tell us? It tells us, the first thing I see is that it's a sign of passion. It tells us that you're a passionate person. Now, another thing that this card tells us is that if there are losses, then you know how to let go of those things. Like, you know when to cry about spilled milk and when not to. And moving on to this card over here, which is Page of Wands. This card tells us about things such as like new beginnings, inspiration, and again, passion. I've mentioned that word twice already. So it seems like as if you are a passionate person. And people like it. They like your enthusiasm. They like your eagerness. Or it seems as if you are a person that's young at heart. 9 of Cups over here. Let me tell you something about this card. This card, it used to be a wish card, and if you made a wish and this card appeared in the reading, then your wish would be, was sure to be granted. Now I'm pretty sure you didn't make any wishes before you chose this pile, but it's a good sign to have this card in the reading. It tells us about creativity, happiness, and that's the type of person you are. You're creative and you're happy. And people like those traits about you. It might suggest that you are a good friend and you value people and they value you back. Like, you keep your eyes on the prize. So you know who good people are, but they know that they like those traits about you. Now, the 5 of Swords over here, it's a card from a different deck. It's a card from a sexual magic deck. And I included this card over here just so that I could tell you about the sexual energy that they like about you. And if you look at this image, there's one thing I could tell about this card, and that thing is that you make their world spin. And that's all I could say. They like you the way you are. Now, I hope you liked the short reading, and I hope you come back for more. And you have a good one. Hello, pile number 3, or choice number 3. We have 4 cards over here. 9 of Swords, Ace of Swords, the World, and we have 10 of Cups. Now let's see, what do people like about you? Some 9 of Swords over here. Well, the first thing that comes to mind, and what I see according to this card, if they seem bad, well, you can endure them. Like, they like your strength. Now, if you're working on something, that's another thing. Like, if you're working on something, if you have a project or one thing or another that has to be done, you will not sleep until you finish it. And the thing is that, well, the other thing is that, like, when I mentioned about things being bad and stuff like that, if things go down, if things turn bad, your inner self knows that everything will be okay. And that's what people like about you. They like that trait. Now, moving on to Ace of Swords over here. The aces represent like new things, and so it tells us that you're a person that's full of new ideas, new beginnings. As well as that you are open to new ideas, and people, they love it about you. And now let's go back to this card real quick, because I'll order these cards together, because this card tells us about clarity, like new clarity. So if you have any problems over here, according to this card, you will have new ideas, new beginnings, and you will have clarity on how to fix those things and how to endure them if you have to. But you wouldn't have to. I mean, well, you'd know what to do, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. Now, the world over here, it's the, it's a final future card in the major arcana, and so it tells us one thing. First of all, this card is a major arcana card, so it triumphs over other cards, and it tells us one thing that, well, it tells us multiple things, but one thing that it tells us is that if, no matter what happened to you, like no matter what happened to you in the past, you will always triumph in the end. That's what this card tells us. So if the other thing that I want to point out is that this card right here, it's a rare card which has no negative interpretations. And so when we see this card, when we see the entire reading over here, they like your strength, and if things seem bad, you will have new ideas, you will have new ways of dealing with things, and you will always triumph, and they simply like you. And like, if you've been working on something for a very long time, or if you are working on something, you will make it happen. Now, the last card over here, which is a card from a different deck. It's a card from a sexual magic deck. I included it into this reading just so that we could see what kind of, like, the sexual energy they like about you. And one thing that I can see over here is that they are drawn to your energy in a sexual way. They are drawn to you, they are attracted to you because of all the traits that I've mentioned before in these three cards. They find those traits sexy. They don't just like you, they find those things very attractive. And I hope you like this short reading, and I hope you come back for more. Have a good one.